This is the Ryder and Lisa replay.
Brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right or it's free.
Making history today. It feels good.
You think that you're the first person to buy the all-new Apple Crisp fall Starbucks drink, even though it's going to be 31 degrees today.
Apple Crisp Oat Macchiato.
Don't you think they're jumping the gun a bit?
No.
It's going to be 31 degrees today.
I know, but remember yesterday morning around this time I was saying that the air had Apple Crisp vibes?
You did say that.
Weird, right?
And you didn't know about this drink at that point?
No, not at all.
Wow.
But I actually completely forgot, because we all know about pumpkin spice latte, but I completely forgot about the pumpkin cream cold brew.
And you liked that one last year. That was one of your favorites.
I was obsessed with it.
Okay, so you wanted to be the first in the city. You were the first in line. There was almost somebody that got in line before you.
No, I got in front.
Good for you.
Should I try the Apple Crisp right now?
Yeah.
History. You should be filming this.
Well, I've got some bad news for you.
Oh, that's good.
Is it?
It's a hot apple pie. Try that. What do you have to tell me?
Well, you think you're the first to try it in the city. You're not.
Well, yeah, like there's Starbucks employees that tested it
No.
yesterday.
There are numerous Starbucks that open at 5:30. It's just this one that you went to opens at 6. But I wasn't going to tell you that when you're like, should I go to Starbucks and be the first in line? Because I just wanted a good coffee. Yep, that's delicious.
Right?
Terrific.
I'm so mad.
You are?
Yeah, I thought I was so cool this morning.
You're not. No, like there's one in Terrace Place. Where else? There's one on Gateway, actually, just a few blocks south. You could have done that one at 5:30.
Oh, crap.
Maple Road's 5:30.
Oh, everyone needs to go and try this. That is so good. If you like apple pie, that's amazing. But the pumpkin cream cold brew is where it's at. I had one every day last season, and I racked up my credit card bill and probably gained 7 pounds, but it was so worth it.
Do you think scars are cool?
Yeah, actually, I do.
Okay, what do you think about my leg?
Ooh, what happened? Why is it so swollen?
Nasty, hey?
Yeah, that's bad, and it's right over a tattoo, which sucks.
It was actually bleeding so much yesterday that like I could see the ink from the tattoo coming out. Nasty.
So this was from your soccer game.
Yeah.
Monday night, under the lights.
Millwoods Park. It was deadly.
Cool.
I decided it was a smart idea to try to slide tackle their goalie, actually.
Why are you slide tackling when you turn 40 next week?
Well, like I was trying to slide and get the ball, because if I pushed it by the goalie, I would have been able to score.
Not that I think 40 is old. Did you just brag under your breath that you scored again?
Well, I said if I would have been able to get it by the goalie, I would have scored again, because I actually got a pretty sweet goal last night, yeah. What were you saying?
I was saying, I don't think 40 is old. I just think it's risky to slide tackle because our knees are back.
Well, and that artificial turf.
Ooh,
it's like
cuts you.
Razor blades. So, like, as soon as I slid, I was like, I've made a huge mistake. I was wearing white socks, soccer socks.
Why aren't you wearing those pads that people wear on their legs?
Those are shin guards, so it's like the side that I got it on, though.
Man.
Anyway, it was just blood all down my sock. Like, I looked pretty hardcore for Div 3 men's 35-plus soccer.
Your team was probably pumped. Was that the first game you guys have ever scored? That's a genuine question.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's not even my first goal of the year. Come on. Anyway, it was maybe a little bit intense because, as I mentioned, it was Div 3, and that's of 3.
Okay.
There's only 3 divisions, so we're like the
worst.
The worst soccer that you can get in Edmonton.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, yeah, maybe next year I won't be sliding quite as much.
Remember when you auditioned for... Or sorry, not audition. I'm a theater kid. I'm not a sports person. So what's the word I would be saying instead?
Try it out.
Remember when you tried out for this soccer team? Mm-hmm. And you're like, yeah, I made the team. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. And you're like, yeah, not enough guys showed up. So they just put all of us on the team.
Everybody made the team.
Brought to you by the all-new Derek Dodge. Come join our family at DerekDodge.com.
Play 107.
Okay, my story today is about a woman who owes her life to a rescue dog. So she got this dog, Brody, over the pandemic, a huge dog, just a sweet angel. But he wouldn't keep his nose out of her right armpit. And at first she's like, oh, this dog just wants some attention and cuddles. But then after a while, she's like, kind of weird that it's only ever my right armpit. She ends up going to the doctor, mentions it. Turns out the dog could smell her breast cancer.
Whoa.
Her rescue dog saved her life. Like, they got it in time. How crazy is that?
Yeah, I've actually heard of dogs being able to smell out
I know.
disease.
Which kind of like makes you wonder, when your dog is like extra cuddly, be aware of where they're
Wow.
placing their nose. Well,
You're going to think of that every time you cuddle your dog.
Yeah.
Now, I think if it goes for the same spot every time,
that's what I mean.
yeah, you may want to get checked, but not like every time you cuddle the
No,
dog.
no.
I remember when the dog was sniffing your butt for a bit there, and I was a little bit worried about you, but then it was just because you had a sore arm and you weren't wiping properly.
What are you talking about?
Tell me something good.
That's actually never happened.
Just kidding.
Good joke.
My story is about takeout containers that are being turned into valuable seaweed chemical using rays of sunlight.
Nobody's even listening to your story because they're still thinking thinking about me not being able to wipe properly.
They're just
which
laughing.
Is fake news. That is a fake story. Okay, everyone on the text line thinks it's a true story, and I'm pissed.
Tell me something good.
Time for the top 7 at 7 as we're counting down the best cold beverages for a stupid hot day, as we're going to get above 30 again today, it looks like.
Okay, so Gary wrote in saying, a year ago, I would have said a cold crisp beer, but I got to go with a virgin lime mojito, a fancy one now. That sounds delicious. This one here says a lime Slurpee with a Corona beer.
Ooh.
That sounds delicious. Screamers. Okay, we've gotten to some serious debates about screamers.
I love them.
The debate?
Yeah, just screamers.
Oh, Ryder, that's not funny. We're talking about the ice cream and the Slurpees.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Oh, really? Because the smirk on your face said otherwise.
The smirk that people couldn't see because we're a radio station.
Yeah, but everybody could tell what you meant. Everyone knows. Okay, but we always have this debate about screamers that what do you put in first? Stop!
What?
Grow up. What goes in first, the Slurpee or the ice cream? Or do you go like back and forth? Or do you do all Slurpee and then just ice cream on top? So yes, screamer, great answer. But we're compiling the top 7 cold beverages to have on a very hot day.
At number 7, we have the pina colada. And extra shout out if you get it mixed with the strawberry daiquiri.
Ooh, yes.
When you're on vacation. I believe that's called the
That's called something. What is it called?
Las Vegas, maybe? Is it called Las Vegas? What's the Bahama Mama?
There's somebody that knows because they frequent an all-inclusive every single year. So if somebody can clarify that. But I agree that can be in 7th place.
At number 6, we have lemonade.
It's Miami Vice.
Miami Vice.
Thank you, Cody. And next time you go, invite us.
I knew it involved an American city.
What did you say?
I said the Las Vegas. So number 6, I have the lemonade. But you're not a big fan of lemonade.
Lemonade makes me thirsty.
But like, think of the ones at the fair. You get an ice cold lemonade there. They're pretty good.
I've never understood the hype with those. The lineup is always so long.
And they're
everybody
expensive.
has one in their hand. Not for me.
Number 5, we have water. Kind of boring, but also super deadly on a really hot day.
Yeah, some cold water is the best, says Jordan, and I agree. You can go to some establishments, and I'm like, why is the tap water here is so good? Like at Local in South Common.
Or a golden rice bowl. I could drink like 3 pitchers of water over there. Talking the best drinks for a hot day. At number 4, we have the Slurpee. We will give some love to the Screamer as well. Although ice cream and a hot day, milk and a hot day doesn't work for me.
Well, it melts too fast.
Lactose intolerant too. And it's just, you don't want that. You don't want to deal with that on a hot day.
Hey, I think I'm starting to be lactose intolerant because last night after you left for soccer, I skipped the dishes 2 mini blizzards.
What a loser.
Okay, so my goal was to have one and keep the other in the freezer because you never want to order just one drink in because it's embarrassing. So you make it look like there's 2 people at home. So I got 2 minis and I was like, I'll put one in the freezer. And then plot twist, had them both.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, if you stack them, that's one blizzard.
Right.
But I'm not feeling very good right now. So I agree. Ice cream on a hot day, not ideal.
I like how you didn't tell me that this is a thing.
And I hid them in the garbage too. I put other things on top of it so you wouldn't see. And then also last night, I realized that one of the spoons fell off the couch. And those are one of a kind spoons at Dairy Queen.
The extra long red ones.
The long red ones. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is evidence. And I had to kick it under the couch.
You don't have to hide that you eat ice cream when you're by yourself.
There's no shame, but it's the fact that there were two.
Yeah,
and I didn't know what to do with the second one,
a little bit ridiculous. Okay.
Whatever.
Counting down the top drinks when it's really hot out. At number 3, we have the margarita. And I'm getting really into margaritas just on ice.
On the rocks.
Yeah, not crushed. I mean, those are good too, the Slurpee style, but the just on the rocks is so good.
So we're counting down the top 7 cold drinks to have on a hot day. What are we at so far? In 7th place, we have
pina colada, lemonade, water, Slurpee, margarita.
Okay.
At number 2, we have iced tea.
No, that was supposed to be
No, it's not number 1.
Okay, out of a vending machine, a brisk. You slam that back. Remember those commercials in the 90s where they would crack open a brisk ipsed tea and then they'd fall back into a pool?
Yeah.
That's how you feel after you drink one.
I'm not 100% sure those were brisk commercials.
Were they Lipton's?
They might have been the Nestea ones.
Oh.
But those are good too.
Those are good too.
Those are all iced tea. But the reason we can't give it number 1 is because beer is number 1. You can't beat beer. And you could get a cold Corona. You could get a frosty mug.
You can get one without alcohol.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And just...
Slammer.
Bye. Harry Styles coming up in a few minutes. He was performing, I think, Madison Square the other day. Somebody threw a chicken nugget, actually 2 chicken nuggets up on stage.
How did they get chicken nuggets? And they must have bought them at the venue.
No, they didn't have a McDonald's in Madison Square Garden. So
they had them in their purse.
They snuck in McNuggets, 2 chicken nuggets to throw on stage. Yeah. And Harry Styles is a vegan. So, know your audience or your performer, I guess. What is he going to do with it? Anyway, he picked them up and was like, I don't want these, and kind of threw them back. And then he was worried that somebody was going to pick it off the floor and eat it because he touched it. It was just a real mess.
That's funny, though.
We wanted to know at 780-784-7107 if you've ever thrown anything on stage or been by somebody who did. I always feel bad for artists when things are getting thrown on stage because usually it's
distracting.
A negative thing, like a beer gets thrown at them or whatever. And I'm like, don't do that.
Yeah, which seems to be the case lately. Yeah. A lot of artists are getting really annoyed of the crowd and then they'll just leave the stage. And that one person in the crowd ruins it for everyone else.
Yeah, Kid Cudi, I think, walked off stage the other day.
There's also stories of awesome things that are thrown on stage that celebrities pick up. Mm-hmm. Every time you've seen someone throw a pride flag on a stage, most likely the artist on stage will wave it around, which is pretty awesome to see. And when Lady Gaga was, I think, in Winnipeg, there's a radio host there whose friend passed away recently, and they were the biggest fans of Lady Gaga. And Lady Gaga picked up this guy's note and read it to the entire crowd, which I think would be so powerful if you lost your best friend and then Lady Gaga picks up this note that you wrote to her about how special she was to him.
I've heard that story before and it gave goosebumps. Still, just hearing it now. My rule is if it's paper, okay. If it's something that they can read, but food and beverages, I would say is a no.
How funny would it be, though, if you threw up a note and they opened it and it was a drawing of the middle finger? That would be...
Sick burn, yeah.
A sick burn.
Or here's another wild twist. If you threw some panties on the stage, which is another thing that happens quite often at rock shows, but they were huge Kirklands.
The big parachutes.
Yeah, not sexy underwear at all.
Those are also known as the Lisa Evans special. My favorite.
The floral design.
Yes, or the little hearts.
You have a big day today.
I do?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to a play tonight. Come From Away is here at the Jubilee.
That's not what I meant. You have an important meeting at 1:00 today. Did you forget about that?
Okay, so our company is doing this thing. It's a bonding experience. Everyone was teamed up with another employee in the company, and you have to have a 30-minute Zoom call with them just to get to know them.
And this could be anybody that does anything in our company.
Yeah, exactly.
So I ended up like chatting with the VP, like
Yeah,
the vice president of the company.
So I have a sales associate in Regina through our company. I'm like, what are we going to talk about? This guy doesn't want to talk to me. Both of us were like holding it off. Everyone else has done their Zoom calls. We're like the last two in the entire company to do it, but it's mandatory. What do I talk to somebody who lives in Regina about? What kind of a question do I even ask?
I would say, like, what's it like living in the city that like Connor Bedard is such a big deal at? The next big name in hockey. Like, he must be a mega celebrity in that town. You look like you're not interested at all in that answer.
Fell asleep.
Come on.
Well, what if I ask him if he's seen that Discover Regina song on YouTube?
Experience Regina.
Oh, that's what it's called.
Of course he's seen that. So the conversation will be like, have you seen that? And then he will say yes.
And then what?
Next question.
So that's a dumb question. Is that like him asking me if I've ever been to West Edmonton Mall?
Exactly. And I hope he doesn't. Or else that conversation is going to be the worst thing I've ever heard.
I'm just going to pretend that I lost connection and hang up if that's the case.
Regina, experience Regina,
You should just ask him if you can do a quick performance for him to show that you really care about where he's from and sing that song to him.
So Rue just wrote in saying the Rough Riders, Saskatchewan, they love the Rough Riders. Just bring those up. Rhonda says, ask the guy in Regina if he can see his dog run away. It's the oldest joke in the book. Yeah, I should just keep asking him things that are really annoying, and then maybe he'll pretend that we lost connection and hang up.
You had a wonderful appointment yesterday.
No, I go every year.
For a dermatologist, is that right?
Yep, so I go and I get my moles checked.
And you're good to go?
Yeah, there's one that he said he's like not overly concerned of,
Okay, good.
but I pre-booked to go back in a year and I took a picture of it, so we'll see. But he said, due to my history, and he knows me quite well, he said he's not worried about it at this point. I could have gotten it removed yesterday too,
Yeah.
if I really wanted to, but I'll probably just get it removed next time.
I wonder how many people have pictures of their moles in their phone.
Oh, all of us.
Yeah, most of us
Don't
probably
we?
have one, yeah.
No, I go to Dr. Karpman, and he's amazing at Rejuvenation Dermatology, and he listens to our show.
You were a little
And
bit
I'm-
worried about like not having your armpit shaved, not having your leg shaved.
And I always tell him that too when I see him. I'm like, I hate this appointment. I'm so nervous. Like I get a rash on my chest too because I'm such a moly person. So I'm always scared that he's going to be like, you should be worried about several moles. And every time I go, he's like, you're fine.
You're also a hypochondriac, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, no, appointments.
It's an uncomfortable appointment. And I told him, I was like, I'm so done with this paper that you guys put on the bed.
You just sweat right through it.
I sweat and then it sticks to my butt. And he's like, stand up. I need to look at the moles on your back. And then I turn around, there's paper on my butt. It's mortifying to me.
I don't know. Do you have to go straight naked on the bed?
No, I wear my underwear.
Okay.
But you wear a gown as well.
Right.
And but I don't have a bra on because the back is open and he looks at the moles on my back.
Right.
And the front. He has to look at everything.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
sucks. Like one time he had to take a mole off my boob. It's horrible. It's so uncomfortable. Probably for everyone involved. There's a nurse in the room. We're all just like trying to make small talk. It's so weird. I think everybody goes through that, right? You have to
Yeah.
also like go into it. You have to go into it with the mentality that they do this every day.
Yeah, like I thought we were just going to be like touching on your appointment and then getting into
Oh.
other people's stories about like their least favorite appointment, but
Do you want me to go into more detail?
You can just keep going if you want.
No,
yeah.
I think I'm done. Thank you so much for the floor.
You're welcome.
But I would like to know other people's, like, what is your cringiest appointment? Because I can't imagine being pregnant. Women must just go in there and say, screw it. You just got to not care.
Right. Yeah. And that's it.
That's it.
Like you said, the doctors deal with it every day, so it doesn't have to be weird. Like I've got a colonoscopy coming up in December.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
about that age.
Yep.
And with my
Good for you, because there's a lot of people that hold off those kinds of appointments
Yeah.
because it's an uncomfortable experience.
with my food sensitivity and whatnot, there's just more of a risk that there could be issues. So when they ask, they're like, "We don't have to do it, or we could." And I was like, "Yeah, let's go for
Just
it. Why
do
wouldn't
it.
I check that off?"
Yeah.
So that's one that is a little bit anxiety giving.
There's a lot of women on the text line saying pap smear
Just hate
is the
it,
worst.
hey?
Yeah, I don't mind it. I like my doctor a lot. So and it's over so fast. Yeah.
It's the dentist for me, I think.
Really?
That's my least favorite. Well, just because the last time I went, I never really minded the dentist.
Okay.
And then last time the pick broke, the metal pick, and it jammed into my gum and they couldn't find it. And all of a sudden there was like an emergency situation where people were yelling at me not to swallow because they were worried I was going to swallow this little metal pick that had busted off. And then they had to cut into my gum to go and remove.
I just can't imagine.
And then they charged me for removal of a foreign object from my mouth. And I'm like, you put it there. What do you mean I'm getting charged? And like my insurance company covered it. I was like, this is still greasy. That should have been like you do that job for free
and
after.
how, you said this is like one of those traumatic experiences.
Well, I just keep pushing off going back to the dentist now. And it's been over a year now. And I usually go twice a year.
No,
like,
we've all been talking about it.
About what?
That you definitely haven't been to the dentist in a while. Everybody talks about it.
Do they?
I think I saw a Reddit thread on you. Jen said, having a baby, try having 3. You're going to be inviting the plumber in to look.
I love the wording of that text.
And we got this text from Brandon that said, I had a benign growth in my lower appendage. It was super rare. There were only 2 cases. They asked if a bunch of urology students could watch the operation. And I was like, oh yeah, for sure. So I'm on the operating table about to go under. And right as I go under, I look up at the observing window and they open the curtain. The last thing that I saw were 24 people staring at my junk.
Okay, that one's pretty awkward.
Yeah.
Getting your will done.
That's very true.
Yeah, and it's really crucial. I had a friend of mine drop dead last year from a heart attack. She didn't have a will. And I was like, okay, we're getting on this. And I used a lady out of St. Albert, and she was awesome. We did it all over the phone.
But also, like, when people are trying to grieve and they're dealing with paperwork
Also
and
trying to
politics
figure
and
everything
lawyers,
else out, yeah.
it's not fair to those people. So you're right. Getting your will done so people can grieve properly and know that everything is decently taken care of is very important.
Well, and her husband, she always she didn't need one because she was married and everything would go to her husband. Yeah, it does, but it was a lot of work for him. A lot. Like, he had to take 6 months off work. Well, number one, because he was grieving, and number two, because there was just so much to do, like mortgage, the car payment, the insurances, the utilities, everything, right? Like, it's not clear cut.
Good point. Yeah,
That is
that's
such a good public service announcement.
yeah. Thank you for that. We appreciate it.
What's your name?
Okay, it's Karen.
Thank you for the call, Karen. Appreciate it. So there is a kid who has gone viral for like the next super cute video.
So this is my favorite thing about social media. There are people that refuse to get TikTok, but they still have Instagram. So they find out about these viral trends 3 months after people that are on TikTok do.
Sure. So this one's probably right in between. For the most part, living on TikTok right now, probably going to get big on Instagram in a couple weeks.
So we'll air this interview for you to hear so you're aware of it when it pops up on your Instagram. Okay?
It's going to take over.
It is.
It reminds me of like the apparently interview.
Yeah.
And the I like turtles. Those are the 2 kid videos I remember where it's just like they're so genuine.
Well, and it's one of those street interviews where it is just a genuine kid being themselves talking to a journalist into a microphone.
So the kid is eating a cob of corn and he likes it.
For me, I really like corn.
What do you like about corn?
Ever since I was told that corn was real, it tasted good.
Did you think corn wasn't real?
But when I tried it with butter, everything changed. I love corn. Corn.
Do you think everyone should be eating corn?
No, not everyone has to like it to be the best.
Yeah.
Everyone just has to try it. Have a bite.
What else are your favorite things?
I play a variety of games. Hide and seek, tag, double lava monster. Yeah, mostly corn. Then look at this then. I can't imagine a more beautiful thing. It's corn.
Kid
Just loves corn.
loves
huh?
corn. This is a special place in my heart. My grandpa used to eat so much corn. So we'd sit around the table at harvest, and that's when like the garden was flourishing, right? So we'd have a lot of corn.
Corn.
And my grandpa would sit back and wait for everybody to finish, and then whatever was left for corn, he would just eat it. So I saw him like rifle 10 plus cobs back to back to back.
So people's cobs that weren't actually finished, he would finish them.
No, well, maybe my grandma's, but he would just wait until there was like, okay, is everybody done?
Got it.
Then I'm going to finish all of the leftover cone.
So the internet did a beautiful thing, and somebody remixed this little boy's interview, and I'm not going to lie, the song slaps.
For me, I really like cone.
What do you like about corn?
It's cone. A big orbit knobs. It has the juice. I can't imagine a more beautiful thing. It's cone.
Beautiful song.
It's a beautiful thing. And it's so funny because we had corn last night, and Ryder comes into the living room holding one last cob, and he goes, "There's one last cone."
It's just the way he says it is so
The way he
cute.
says it is just the best. So you're welcome. If you're not a TikToker, you're just on Instagram. Now you are in with the latest trend.
Cone.
We are here for you. Cone.
Nearly 50% of people in North America will eat in bed. Seems like a lot to me. Like,
Really?
Most people I know, I mean, I guess I don't know what they're doing in bed most of the time, but would get up and go eat.
I feel like it depends what your setup is. Like if your TV's in your bedroom and that's the one you usually watch TV at,
That's fair.
you're most likely eating in bed.
Good point.
Yeah.
780-784-7107. Do you eat in bed?
Yeah.
Not perverted wise.
Oh. Yeah. No, the first day of school, we have a routine that we ship the kids off on the bus and then skip the dishes. McDonald's happens to show up 20 minutes later.
All right.
And then Friends happens to turn on in the TV in the bedroom, and nothing gets accomplished that day.
Hey, that's a cool tradition.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's what we call the first day of 6 hours of summer.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. What's that?
I just saw Colin's text. Literally ate a donair in bed last night.
Like, wait, this is what I don't understand. Why not eat it and then go to bed?
Maybe they have one of those tables that you can have in your bed.
Sure. But yeah, like the whipped cream, the chocolate sauce, like dessert, I get that a bit more. Strawberries.
Sure.
But like spaghetti?
Oh, yeah.
What?
The Ryder and Lisa replay.
Brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right or it's free.
Play 107.